G Herbo's legal drama has always been wild, but this latest twist might just top the charts. Word on the streets is that he tried to break out during one of his recent courtroom appearances, and now a new video has surfaced showing Herbo's reaction.
So basically, I went into the courtroom and was able to walk home free based off who I am as a person.
Wait, what? Did he break out, or was he actually released? Stay tuned, because we're breaking down everything we know, and the legal mess G Herbo just landed himself in once again. An attempt at freedom. G Herbo has been in and out of legal messes like he's got a punch card for court appearances. You'd think after all that, he'd try to stay away from trouble like it's his toxic ex. Now, there are whispers that he had done everything possible to avoid prison time. But according to Herbo, that happened because of who he is as a person and not foul play.
So basically, I went into the courtroom and was able to walk home free based off who I am as a person.
Basically, he beat the case using vibes. That's not all. G Herbo also found himself entangled in another legal situation. Yeah, he keeps catching cases, and this time around it's with the very lawyers who had represented him in his criminal case. In September 2024, Prince Lobeltai LLP filed a lawsuit against G Herbo, alleging breach of contract and unjust enrichment. The firm claimed that G Herbo owed $237,582.67 in unpaid legal fees for services provided during his wire fraud case. That's almost $250,000. Bro, were they charging him for every thought they had? According to court documents, G Herbo allegedly stopped paying the firm approximately 2 weeks before his sentencing in January 2024. The law firm argued that they had performed significant work, including reviewing extensive discovery, to secure the favorable probation outcome that allowed him to avoid prison time. So basically, we read a lot of stuff so you wouldn't end up behind bars. Pay up. G Herbo did not remain silent on this matter. On September 26, 2024, he addressed the lawsuit in a public statement, expressing frustration and denying the firm's claims. In a video that quickly gained traction online, G Herbo asserted that he had already paid Prince Lobeltai LLP nearly $1 million for their services.
I should have never paid $1 million to y'all in the first place. Everybody on my team advised me to sue y'all for excessive billing, but I never did that.
He's basically saying, I paid like I was buying a mansion. All y'all gave me was a tent. In his public statement, G Herbo also argued that his involvement in the fraud case was minimal, stating that his name appeared on only 5 pages of discovery out of 1 million pages.
I only had my name on 5 pages of discovery. So out of the 1 million or whatever pages of discovery that y'all read, because that's what y'all want to do so y'all could charge me by the hour, my name was only on 5 pages. Only on 5 pages of discovery.
He claimed that the firm overcharged him by billing hourly for excessive document review, and that the mitigation strategy focusing on his community contributions was the primary reason for his lenient sentence, downplaying the firm's legal efforts. G Herbo also suggested that the lawsuit was motivated by his celebrity status, stating, I feel like I'm only dealing with this because I'm a celebrity. He expressed reluctance to address the issue publicly, preferring to keep personal and business matters private. The situation is now framed as G Herbo, who pleaded guilty to a fraud-related charge, is also guilty of failing to pay the lawyers who helped him avoid prison. However, this framing doesn't capture the full complexity of the situation, as G Herbo maintains that he paid a substantial amount and also believes he was overcharged. Amid all this courtroom drama, G Herbo's been real about his personal battles too. He continues to be open about his personal struggles, particularly his battle with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. In fact, his 2020 album titled PTSD serves as a primary medium for expressing these struggles. The album, which peaked at number 7 on the Billboard 200, features tracks that delve into themes of trauma, loss, and paranoia.
I wanted to bring people into my world, my reality, and I'm just bringing light to the situation that what is going on here is not normal, you know what I'm saying? And something needs to give in these situations, and I'll make the sacrifice to, you know what I'm saying, try to bring change.
G Herbo's approach to managing PTSD has evolved significantly over time. Initially, he relied on self-medication, admitting to using drugs like lean and pills from age 15, a practice he linked to the lack of therapy or outlets during his youth. However, following his diagnosis, he embraced therapy, which he began in 2018. In his MTV News interview, G Herbo explained how therapy helped him process his experiences.
I think it was important for me to talk to somebody who's never been through the stuff that you've been through. Talking to my therapist, I was telling her certain stuff and she couldn't believe it, you know what I'm saying?
He went on to describe how nervous he was when he started therapy for the first time.
I was so nervous my first therapy session, I cracked my ID in half, just talking to her about that I've been through, you know what I'm saying? I literally split my ID in half just talking to her. She told me, you have PTSD. It is a sickness, a mental illness, you know what I'm saying?
He also shared a bit about the trauma he went through and emphasized on the importance of talking to somebody about all of it because, unlike what we might think, it isn't normal.
Like every day I left out the house, I really felt like I was gonna die or I could go to jail for protecting myself. It's important to just talk to somebody, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we block that intuition and block that in the back of our head because we desensitized by it. We think it's normal. So she was there to tell me, no, it's not normal.
Beyond personal management of his mental health, G Herbo has leveraged his platform to advocate for mental health awareness, particularly in communities like his own, where such issues are stigmatized. He has called for better resources, such as therapists in schools, arguing that many children lack safe environments or family support at home.
Like, I really think schools should have a therapist. Schools should have somebody that's gonna ask you, how was your day? Because a lot of these kids, they don't have a sense of family, a sense of none of that at home. When they're in school, that's the only love they're gonna feel. Sometimes that's the only meal, that's the only clean, safe environment that they have. And it's only for 8 hours out of your day.
In the same interview, he described Chicago as a mental illness war zone, reflecting on how pervasive violence contributes to unrecognized PTSD in his community. His philanthropy efforts include vocal support for youth centers, which he sees as crucial for providing safe spaces to escape trauma, a resource he felt was lacking during his upbringing. G Herbo's music has also been deeply influenced by these experiences. His 2020 album PTSD was a critical success. The title track, featuring Chance the Rapper, Juice WRLD, and Lil Uzi Vert, offers an intimate look into their collective experiences with PTSD, highlighting the pervasive impact of violence on their mental health.
I got Juice WRLD on the cover, you know, like I think the families, they appreciate it because it's not about me glorifying it, you know what I'm saying?
The album cover itself is a powerful statement featuring G Herbo holding an American flag with the faces of people he's lost to violence in place of the stars. In his MTV News interview, he explained that the 50 stars on the flag represented friends and loved ones who had passed away, adding that he could have put 60, could have probably put 70 inches faces on the flag.
Even in the cover, man, we felt that a lot, like you're holding a flag with some of the faces of the people that you've lost. Can you explain the inspiration behind that?
It's 50 stars on that flag, but I could have put 60. I could have probably put 70, you know what I'm saying?
The man is carrying the weight of a whole community, not just on his back, but also in his art. Despite his legal troubles, G Herbo has continued to release music and maintain his presence in the rap scene. In late 2024, he dropped an exclusive mixtape titled Best Rapper Alive, available only through his website rather than mainstream platforms like Spotify or Apple Music. Tracks like Blueprint and Hold Me Down have been highlighted for their slick production and strong vocal performances. Additionally, he re-released his 2023 mixtape, Strictly For My Fans 2 Inches, with 5 new tracks, including Teflon featuring Taurus and produced by Wheezy. Other songs like Lionhearted and Breathing Heavy showcase his signature hard-hitting flow and introspective lyrics about his Chicago roots. These releases show G Herbo's focus on maintaining his presence in the drill music scene while experimenting with distribution models. His recent activity suggests he's building momentum despite all the legal challenges he's faced. The legal trouble involving G Herbo's lawyers is only the tip of the iceberg. The rapper has been involved in several legal battles in the past. The infamous legal battle. G Herbo has been at the center of a significant legal case that has unfolded over several years. For those who might not be familiar with G Herbo, he's a prominent figure in Chicago's drill rap scene who rose to fame through his raw storytelling and vivid depictions of street life. He has been navigating the challenges of the music industry while dealing with the legal system. The case that has garnered so much attention began back in December 2020 when G Herbo and 5 co-defendants were indicted by a federal grand jury in Massachusetts on charges of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. This was a serious case that could have resulted in significant prison time, which makes the outcome all the more noteworthy. The specifics of the case are quite eye-opening. According to court documents, G Herbo was implicated in a nationwide wire fraud scheme that involved using stolen credit card information to fund a lavish lifestyle. This scheme was active from approximately March 2017 to November 2018 and included purchases of private jet charters, exotic car rentals, a Jamaican villa stay, and even designer Yorkshire Terrier puppies. police. Prosecutors claimed that G. Herbo and his co-defendants used stolen payment card information, including cardholders' names, addresses, security codes, and expiration dates, Owen sourced from dark websites. Some of the specific instances included: 1. Over $80,000 for 4 private jet charters, including a flight from Chicago to Austin, Texas. 2. Over $34,000 for exotic car rentals, such as a Mercedes-Benz 5560 and a Cadillac Escalade. 3. $14,500 for a 6-bedroom Jamaican villa rental for Wright and 7 others. 4. Over $10,000 for 2 designer puppies purchased from a Michigan pet shop using a stolen credit card and a fake driver's license. G. Herbo and his promoter, Antonio Strong, allegedly communicated via text messages, social media, and emails to share stolen account details. According to prosecutors, Wright used the fraud proceeds to promote his career, posting images and videos of himself with luxury goods on social media and in music videos. The scheme reportedly caused approximately $139,968 in losses to businesses and individuals who faced chargebacks. Air cardholders disputed the fraudulent transactions, but the charges didn't stop there. In November 2018, Wright falsely told a federal agent that he had no relationship with Antonio Strong, despite their collaboration since 2016, and denied receiving goods or services from him. This led to additional charges of making false statements to a federal official. The legal process unfolded over several years. In May 2021, Wright was charged with making false statements to a federal official to conceal his involvement in the fraud scheme. Then, in July 2023, G. Herbo agreed to plead guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 1 count of making false statements in Springfield, Massachusetts federal court. In exchange, prosecutors dismissed several counts of aggravated identity theft. As part of the plea, he agreed to forfeit $139,878, the amount he personally benefited from the $1.5 million scheme. On July 28, 2023, U.S. District Judge Mark G. Mastroianni accepted Wright's guilty plea, with sentencing initially scheduled for November 7, 2023. However, the sentencing was later rescheduled for January 2024. Now here's where things get particularly interesting. On January 11, 2024, G. Herbo was sentenced to 3 years of probation, avoiding prison time. This outcome was noteworthy because it aligned with his defense team's request for probation, despite prosecutors seeking a 1-year prison sentence, 36 months of supervised release, and a $55,000 fine. Instead, G. Herbo was ordered to pay $139,968 in restitution, $139,968 in forfeiture, and a $5,500 fine. The presiding judge stated, "Under the circumstances of this case, a sentence of probation will reflect the seriousness of the charge and protect the public," indicating that probation was deemed sufficient given Wright's acceptance of responsibility and community contributions. G. Herbo's defense team employed a strategic approach, highlighting several factors to argue for leniency. They emphasized his traumatic childhood in Chicago's Tarrytown, where he witnessed a murder at age 9 and lost 17 friends and family members to gun violence by age 17, leading to post-traumatic stress disorder and substance abuse. They also pointed to his role as a father of 3 and his establishment of Swerving Through Stress, a nonprofit providing mental health resources to Chicago youth.
Really acknowledging myself that I have PTSD and with really being clinically diagnosed with PTSD and trying to spread awareness on the fact that people don't really realize that they have PTSD. So it was real important for me, like, shed light on that because it affects my life on a day-to-day basis and so many other people, you know.
Some people would say that his legal team pulled out the sympathy card, but I'd say don't hate the player, hate the game. In his 2020 MTV News interview, G. Herbo opened up about how he was diagnosed with PTSD and his journey to mental health awareness. This diagnosis came during the same period he was facing many legal troubles, which adds another layer to understanding his state of mind throughout these proceedings. Prosecutors, however, maintained a different perspective. They argued for a year and a day in prison, citing the harm caused to businesses and individuals. Acting U.S. Attorney Joshua S. Levy stated that G. Herbo's lavish lifestyle was shamelessly built on deceit and fraud using stolen account information that inflicted substantial harm on numerous businesses, leaving a wake of victims burdened with financial losses. While it is true that G. Herbo has had his fair share of both legal and personal challenges, and they have affected his career and public image, it would seem that that isn't the end of the story for G. Herbo. the aftermath of it all. So just when things were cooling down in G Herbo's world, life decided to throw a flu-shaped curveball at him. One of the most recent developments in G Herbo's life was a health scare in early April 2025. Around April 6 to 8, 2025, G Herbo revealed that he was hospitalized due to a severe case of what he called a new flu strain. He warned fans to stay safe, describing the illness as no joke. The story was amplified by posts on social media from outlets like Hip Hop DX and radio stations, expressing concern and wishing him a speedy recovery. This health incident briefly dominated headlines, with fans rallying around him. But beyond this health scare, G Herbo has maintained a relatively low profile regarding his legal issues. Instead, he seems focused on his music career and his family, which brings me to his son, Yosin. In April 2025, a video surfaced showing his son, Yosin, who turned 7, with what appeared to be tattoos. This sparked a brief controversy online, with some criticizing G Herbo and Ariana Fletcher's parenting, calling it terrible and bad, and how black parents should teach their sons something different than what is considered cute in the moment. Ouch. Other internet users weren't as critical as the rest, though. They questioned if the people criticizing G Herbo and Ariana Fletcher never used temporary tattoos when they were kids, because apparently fake tattoos have been a thing for a long time and aren't unheard of. Also in the same month, 2025, Tana Williams and Ariana Fletcher were spotted together in the Bahamas celebrating Yosin's birthday, signaling a positive co-parenting relationship despite past tensions. Williams jokingly accused Fletcher of stealing her son Essex in a lighthearted social media post, showing their improved dynamic. These developments suggest that G Herbo is prioritizing his family life and working to maintain positive relationships for the sake of his children. As for his career, G Herbo has shown remarkable resilience in the face of adversity. Despite his legal troubles, he has continued to release music and maintain his presence in the rap scene. His most recent releases, including Best Rapper Alive and the re-release of Strictly For My Fans 2 inches with additional tracks, demonstrate his commitment to his car and his fans. G Herbo's legal situation, particularly his sentencing to probation rather than prison time, has been a subject of mixed reactions. Some have viewed it as a sign of privilege, while others see it as an appropriate outcome given his contributions to the community and his role as a father. The presiding judge basically said, "Look, probation is enough to teach a lesson and protect the public," suggesting a recognition of G Herbo's potential for rehabilitation and positive impact. Roughly translated, he messed up, but he's not a lost cause. It's important to note that the co-defendants in G Herbo's case have faced varying outcomes. Antonio Strong, described as the ringleader of the scheme, was sentenced to 3 years in prison in October 2024. Terrence Bender pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud in November 2024, with sentencing scheduled for February 2025. The different outcomes reflect the varying levels of involvement and cooperation in the case. The legal ramifications of G Herbo's case extend beyond the criminal proceedings. The other dispute with his former law firm, Prince Lobel Thai LLP, over unpaid legal fees remains ongoing. This civil case has added another layer to G Herbo's legal challenges, though it appears to be a contractual dispute rather than a criminal matter.
I feel like they deserve a statement from me behind this, because I'm not gonna run off on a $230,000 bill. I already paid y'all $1 million. And I didn't even know that y'all was about to issue this public lawsuit. And I'm innocent. I didn't even do it, but it's all good.
From a financial perspective, various sources estimate G Herbo's net worth at between $3 million to $6 million in 2025, reflecting income from music royalties, live performances, and business ventures. His wealth is considered moderate compared to peers like Lil Durk, partly due to legal setbacks eating into earnings. Beyond the legal and financial aspects, G Herbo's influence and impact continue to be felt in the culture. Former Michigan State guard Trey Holloman, transferring to NC State, recently quoted G Herbo's lyrics, "When I was the underdog, still I put the bank on me," in a social media post announcing his move. This shows G Herbo's cultural reach, especially among young athletes, and demonstrates that his message resonates beyond the music industry. G Herbo's advocacy for mental health awareness has been particularly impactful. His openness about his own struggles with PTSD has helped destigmatize mental health issues, especially in communities where such discussions are avoided. His nonprofit, Swerving Through Stress, continues to provide mental health resources to Chicago youth, reflecting his commitment to giving back to his community and his advice to the younger generation.
I would tell them to always follow their dreams, man, no matter what, through the adversity, through the toughest times. Always know there's a greater destiny out there for you, man, and have confidence in yourself.
In his Drink Champs interview from early 2024, G Herbo reflected on his journey and the lessons he's learned.
So it's like all the ugly, that's the downs that come with that, because it's like, you got to deal with family, you got to deal with music, you got to make all the sacrifices to be like, oh, what about any means type of, you know what I'm saying? attitude, you feel me? Like, it's whatever it takes for me to get there. Right. Sometimes you might hurt the people you love along the way. Sometimes you might lose people along the way, but by any means, I'm still gonna get there.
G Herbo also reflected on his journey to fatherhood and personal growth, highlighting the maturation G Herbo has undergone. From a young rapper from Chicago's South Side to a father and advocate for mental health awareness. Despite the legal challenges he's faced, there's a sense that he's learned from these experiences and is striving to make better choices moving forward. G Herbo's journey has been marked by significant challenges, from his early life in Chicago's Terror Town to his legal troubles and battles with PTSD. However, it's also a story of resilience, growth, and advocacy. Despite the setbacks, G Herbo has continued to create music, support his community, and speak openly about mental health issues. Through all the chaos, legal drama, fake tattoo debates, health scares, and flu season plot twists, G Herbo is still here, still rapping, still healing. He continues to prove that growth is possible, even when the journey is messy. If you enjoyed this video, click on the ones showing on your screen to enjoy more.